How to make your home feel like an Italian villa. Surfaces that feel good. Hi, I'm Brigitte from Soul Space Feng Shui in Melbourne, Feng Shui consultant for over 22 years. When I say Italian villa, I also mean the Greek villa or the French or the Moroccan as rendered house. I talk about the buildings that feel good, that we seek, that we spend time in our holidays, that feel good, that are comfortable. And I suggest that it's much more than just the look that attracts us. There is a certain feel that these buildings have. They're cool, they're comfortable, we feel at ease. In Feng Shui, we look at way more stuff, which of course also goes into it, which is the quality of energy in the various areas. But today I really want to look at what it is that makes us feel good on a cellular level. And this has to do with electrostatic charges that occur in any sort of environment. You probably know it from rubbing a balloon on your head or on synthetic material and then putting it near your head, how your hair stands up. That's because the balloon, the plastic surface, is charged up through the friction of rubbing it, and then it pulls your hair up because of the charges. Having a charged surface, like the balloon next to your head, also charges you up, like charges transfer to your body. And if you're sensitive, you might feel a bit more stressed, a bit more on edge. And that's just a small example of how electrostatic charges work. So any surface, any material has a different potential to be able to be charged up or not. And as you walk across the surface, let's say the floor, or as the wind and the air brushes by your surfaces, your window, your walls, there is a friction. Just the fact that there is a friction that occurs, some materials tend to charge up and others don't, or others don't have that same effect. And I'm just going to go through the list of materials that charge up and that tend to make us feel more on edge. Just to explain it a bit further, it's akin to wearing your polyester shirt, where you get sweaty, you're more uncomfortable, compared to your cotton shirt or your linen shirt, which naturally makes you feel cool. You don't feel that you've got anything on that's foreign. So the same applies to a building. So here's the list of the materials. So what charges up are primarily your plastic surfaces, which obviously is your plastic things, but that actually includes more. For example, your timber floors, most of them are varnished with a synthetic varnish, which in effect is a plastic surface. So you don't really communicate with the timber anymore, but you will be walking over a sheet of plastic, so to speak. Looks good, but it's actually not feeling as good, and it will charge you up. Other synthetic surfaces would be your seats on your sofa or your chair. If they are synthetic or polyester, any of those materials, they do charge up as you move around a little bit on your seat. You might know the difference. I can feel that it feels a bit more hot, a bit more sweaty to sitting on a cotton seat. Like if it's pure cotton, it feels much cooler. It grounds you much better than this in synthetic thing, which actually creates the irritation and the charging up on a very subtle level of your body. An important point to mention here is the paints. We often paint our walls with acrylic paint. It's washable, durable, but in effect, it is a plastic surface. So you are surrounding yourself with a sheet of plastic, in a sense. It's a bit like wearing your raincoat, plastic raincoat, compared to, again, your cotton shirt. Curtains are quite important because that's where the air brushes by and creates that friction. So if they are synthetic, they will already create the charges, and we also call them the positive ions, which is a silly term because positive ions are actually negative. They make us feel irritated and stressed. So the charging up is in fact that it's a creation of positive ions both in the air and in your body, because you're creating a tension, an electric charge that is not natural or conducive to health and well-being. So let's have a look at what the materials are that don't charge you up and that do not disturb the ionization of the air. So naturally, particularly if you have some nature around you, there is a fair amount of negative ions, they're called, but they are actually the life force in the air that make us feel good. So if you have natural materials, natural building materials, they do not disturb that balance. That means they don't turn the natural life force into something more irritating and destructive. So here's the list. There is cotton, linen, cork, timber, wool to some extent, although it charges up, it doesn't do it in a negative way. We have earth, the earth buildings, the rammed earth, the earth render, as well as the lime wash, which is a natural mineral material that is used traditionally in the villas of Italy and Greece, which is the title of this talk, which is why I love them so much. They feel cool. It's surfaces that can breathe and that actually let you in, lets you communicate. So for example, a linen curtain, that's very common to the villa. The linen bed sheets compared to polyester. On your sofa, you can still find cotton covers that feel much cooler and much more relaxing than your normal polyester. The same is true for carpets. A lot of them are synthetic, and not only do they outgas, which is a totally different topic, they also charge you up as you walk over them. As an alternative, there are your alpaca, your wool carpet, there's cotton rugs, and so on. Cork is a good alternative, bamboo is a great alternative, and as I said, timber is a natural material as long as you don't cover it up with a synthetic surface. So an alternative for the varnishes is a natural oil based on linseed oil. There's some natural companies that supply an amazing timber oil which can get quite hard and durable, which is what I use, and it feels good. The house I built is not only non-toxic, it has naturally oiled timbers, no varnish, no acrylic paint, lime wash instead. It feels cool, just like the Italian villa, although it doesn't necessarily look like that. It gives you that feel. I have a wool rug, I have some cotton rugs, and it makes a huge difference. I have timber paneling, which is only oiled, so it can breathe and it can communicate. On a subtle level, the electrostatic potential of any material makes a huge difference in how we feel. Yeah, again, just think of the polyester shirt versus your linen shirt and take that further onto the next level. Buildings are really the third skin, we call them, and it's important to have that as easygoing and communicative with the world as we want to be with our natural clothing that makes us feel good. So if you enjoyed this talk, please subscribe to this channel. Below there is also a link to my website where you can receive a free gift about how to create living buildings. And the surfaces and materials are only one small part of that. So thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.